I'm reporting from Milan in the middle of a lovely park. I've got a spot of time before Gucci, so I'm just going to talk to you guys about Byblos. Byblos was the first show of Milan and it was packed, lots of people in there. Really interesting set. The whole concept was around Aurora Borealis, she says in her best accent, which is the northern lights. So lots of icy, frosty inspirations and a really cool kind of almost holographic dome for the set. And this is a real continuation of last season. So a little bit of a backstory. So Byblos is very much a 90s Italian brand. You may know it from yesteryear. I think Gianni Versace actually did a year at Byblos, and the kind of aesthetic has changed quite a lot over the years. The last collection I saw previously to the kind of resurge of Byblos was almost a bit kind of 90s Calvin Klein, really minimalist, very sexy, and this is far from that. Still very sexy, sexy is at the core, but maximalist, lots of stuff going on, and I mean that in the best way. So last season we saw holographic elements and beading and almost shards of glass on fringing dresses, and this season much of the same, but winterized, if that's a phrase. So as I said, themed on the northern lights, and so lots of outerwear, large puffer jackets, but interestingly the puffer jackets were kind of printed in origami style, so they were kind of texturized with this origami print, a bit like the dome that was in the set. So it kind of reminds me of that eco dome we have in Britain. So lots of this kind of origami hexagonal shapes on puffers, which I think was really successful. Some sheeniness to the tops of puffers as well. Boots were really strong. Boots I weren't so keen on were the big fluffy kind of furry boots, a bit you're kind of thinking Arctic and cross terrain, but they were big shaggy boots. I wasn't so keen on those. Did however like the boots that were inspired by hockey players. They're a bit more kind of strappy, a little bit Prada I would say, but I thoroughly enjoyed them. And they came all the way up to the knee, kind of as a shin pad style, which I really liked. And I like that they've taken this ice idea and literally applied it to everything. So a bit of ice capades, bit of hockey, bit of Aurora Borealis, bit of kind of I want to say that what's his name? Nope, I've forgotten. Is the big shaggy creature that's mystical from the Arctic. That's kind of the vibe they were going for with these big fluffy coats and boots. Lots of really fun energy, I would say, as well. The colours are really poppy, amazing orange shaggy fur coats, and some really nice kind of sheeny holographics, as I said, continuation from last season. Some really great puffer jackets which had layers on the shoulders, almost like a protective layer, and actually they cited that in the notes that this is a real kind of armour and protection, which I really like, and it feels slightly with a slight political undertone. The show was so joyous and full of fun that you could easily get away with thinking that it was just lots of fun and lots of inviting kind of colours, but actually when you break it down, thinking about the Arctic, thinking about melting ice caps, thinking about the damage that we're doing to the earth, there was a real political undertone here. And actually saying that, there's plastic of recycled bottles I'm reading the press release to you guys. Plastic of recycled bottles gets a second life, becoming the magic ingredient to create eco-friendly pearls. So they've recycled bottles to create these pearls and beading on some of the dresses, which was really wonderful. And it's really nice, that kind of gives a 360 to this theme that we've got going on of kind of melting Arctic and such. Few really great looks for me. The one that Jazelle Ugly Worldwide was wearing was really strong, minus the furry boots of course. And that was a kind of white puffer with layers of armour on the top, and then a different texture for the sleeve, which I thought was really strong. And then almost these cycling shorts underneath, and a puffer skirt or skort, I couldn't really tell, but I thought that was really strong. And I think it's really young and fresh and fun, and and it's like quintessentially Italian at the same time. I really like the joy that's coming off from the collection. There were also 2 or 3 strong kind of evening gowns that continued with this really delicate beading and this slightly iridescence as well, which I thought was really strong. A few things that I thought perhaps we could have done without. There was a see-through Mac where the model was kind of nudie-roody underneath, and some of the As I said, some of the boots went to my liking, but actually the menswear trainers were really strong. I thought those were really good, and they've got a great name. They're called the Cocoon Chunky Sneakers, and I think that's a great name, great sneaker. The menswear was really good, really slick. So I'm really excited to see kind of a new Byblos actually. So Manuel Ficini is their new creative director, and he started last season, I believe, in April 2018, and it's just giving this brand a real lease of life, a real fun energy. I feel like I keep saying fun energy, but if you were there, you'd get this vibe of kind of, and the models were walking with kind of big strides, and it just felt really inviting and really fun, and I bet some of these clothes look fantastic in editorial, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Yeah, it was a really great start to Milan, I think. Lots of fun. Lots of fun to watch, lots of fun to wear, I imagine. They're really tactile clothes, so lots of stuff to kind of touch and layer and play with, and so I'm really looking forward to see what they do next and where they go with this collection, and what spring summer next season will hold, and whether they continue with this iridescent aesthetic they've got going, because I think that quite works. It's almost 3M in its sheeniness, and you can tell that the magpies at the front row, who were all kitted out for in last season, were like kind of drooling over this season. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. But yeah, overall a good start to Milan. Lots more to come in the next hour, I would say. I've got Gucci next, and then I've got lots more this afternoon. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. Different format, as you can see, in Milan. So it's just me on the go. So let me know in the comments what you think, and if you can suggest any locations in Milan, I'd be thrilled to hear them. But yes, as I say, make sure you're subscribed, lots more to come, and I'll see you guys very soon.